Right, anywho, so yeah, she meets Bootstrap Bill and works out that he's, part of the ship, and basically there's no hope of saving him at all, and he tells her to tell Will that there's no chance of saving him anyway, and that Will should just give up trying to kill Davy Jones, which of course Will won't.
But then Norrington goes good.
Yes, and saves them all! And,
yes.
And
then dies in the process.
But,
what and you're like, Jack Davenport, excellent.
And Davy Jones saying, did you fear death?
No,
and Jack Davenport's
really.
so amazing, he just goes, no, fuck you! Like, yes!
We like Jack Davenport.
We love Jack Davenport.
Ever since he was called Steve. And if you know what we're talking about, geeky kudos to you.
Very, very good.
Okay, so anyway, escape. We've covered the escape. Yes. Will is tossing barrels with bodies off the side of the ship.
The Sparrow is watching Will tossing.
Yes, and then Sparrow does some tossing of his own when he tosses Will off the ship. There is a lot of tossing going on in this film.
We know it's very juvenile, but we found that whole sequence of dialogue hilarious.
Exactly. It's like the line in Return of the King. No, in Two Towers, you'll have to toss me, but don't tell the elf. Exactly. And because it was Orlando Bloom, we had to hark back to that.
We did.
Because quite frankly, I giggled like an immature schoolchild when I saw that Will was in fact tossing off the side of the ship.
And so Will ends up floating back towards...
They make some form of agreement, don't
they? Yeah, they make an agreement whereby Sparrow says, don't worry, when the time comes, I won't side with the East India Trading Company, I'll side with you, we'll kill Jones, I'll kill Jones for you. Huzzah, I will become Jack Sparrow, the immortal pirate.
Because that sounds nice.
Savvy.
Right, and then... Yes, now we get to the Pirate Lord bit. Which is the bit of the film where I was going, oh no, we've got pirates too again. Now up to that bit I was like, no, you're just taking way too long to go over pointless things. But no! Because the Pirate Lord scene was actually quite good. Especially when that one Pirate Lord stands up and you automatically think Terry in Monty Python going, he's not the Messiah, he's a very naughty boy! And made me laugh, and Keith Richards turns up, and as we all know, he's just fucking cool. But Kira becomes a king.
Well, yeah, and also we finally work out why Mackenzie Crook has been carrying around that fake eye for so long and always watching out where it was.
Yes, and always getting so fretting. That was quite good.
That was nice.
We missed that off the notes, but I'm glad you remembered it.
That's okay.
I remember another bit we left off the notes, but that's later.
That's it.
Because it involves the line, nobody move, I'll drop my brain. I love that line.
That's a good line. So yes, basically they decide that they have to go to war. Captain Swan is pushing for them to go to war, and Barbossa's against going to war.
Because he wants to bring back Calypso, because apparently Calypso, despite their previous imprisonment, will now side with them.
If they remind her that it was actually Davy Jones, her one true love, who betrayed her. Because she's forgotten, because being put in mortal form was so incredibly... I don't know.
No, I'm sorry, it's another what the fuck moment of the writing.
Well,
it was a bit thing because we'll get to when Calypso turns up later, but seriously.
And yeah, whilst the Brethren Court are meeting, Davy Jones meets with Calypso, who's been thrown in the brig of the Black Pearl, and they have a bit of a talk.
A tete-a-tete.
Indeed.
A small chatette.
Exactly. But which shows you for the first time Bill Nye in ordinary pirate.
Oh yes, Bill Nye makes an appearance in those films without a tentacled face, and it was quite cool.
It was really cool.
Bill Nye, big fan.
Yeah, we do like Bill Nye. We think you're underused in this. We don't.
Slarty Bart Fast, he was mainly one of the only good things in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And let's face it, in Shaun of the Dead.
In Shaun of the Dead.
I'm sorry, Philip.
Right. So yeah, they meet, and ultimately, because Sparrow, everyone's at the Pirate Court is meant to vote for themselves as Pirate King, but because Sparrow doesn't really care, he makes Elizabeth Pirate King by nominating her twice, and so she gets it. And at this precise moment,
they decide to go to war, because when two tribes go to war, pirates something... Never mind.
Yeah. And oh yeah, Keith Richards turns up as Sparrow's dad. About time too. Good cameo.
Yeah, they asked
not much makeup needed there, I don't think.
No, but it was a good little
It was a really good cameo.
Apart from that sort of like Chinese woman who just freaked me out a little bit, I got to say, if I saw her...
Oh, her, yeah.
Yeah, she was like... What? I loved the fact that the French Pirate Lord was Captain Hook. That was brilliant. He was... Go watch the Disney version of Peter Pan and then watch that bit in Pirate Story again and tell me it's not Captain Hook, because I don't think you can.
You were right, I hadn't considered that before.
He wasn't. And then at the end when he was singing, I was like, please be singing something from Peter Pan.
Mm. So yes, they decide to go to war. Two fleets meet at sea. Hilarious.
Oh yes, But Calypso has been freed upon
Not yet.
No, not yet.
Not yet.
That's where the notes go.
First they meet on the island.
Oh, yes. And, okay, I have to mention the bucket thing. Davy Jones was standing in a bucket
Of seawater.
seawater. Now, fair enough. He cannot step on land. But, really, was the island that big? Was it huge? Was it basically England? I don't think so. If he'd stood 2 meters that way, then basically he would have been in the water. The bucket was just unnecessary. And to be honest, if I were Will Turner, I would have kicked him, let him fall onto the ground, and be done with him.
And watched as someone pronounced judgment over him. Would have been nice. So yeah, they had a bit of a powwow. It's King,
And then they swap
Swan,
people.
Barbossa, Sparrow. Oh damn it, we've missed Will's tea party. Will has a tea party.
Oh Christ! All right, hang on. Before we get Sergio Leone on the island, we'll go back to the tea party.
But after Will got tossed off the ship, he ended up being picked up by Beckett.
Which was
and
the idea,
Rhodes,
really.
Which was the idea.
Because he was leaving the barrels to be picked up.
Yeah. And he ended up having sort of tete-a-tete and a bit of a tea party and meeting with Jones. And he's the one, because he has Sparrow's compass, he can guide them to where the pirate court is. And that's how they get there. There you go.
Yes.
And so now they meet on an island.
Although,
and
did you think Will acted that character in that scene? He just seemed way too confident and cocky.
I think he was enjoying himself doing that, which was cool. I thought that worked for his character at that point.
Oh, fair enough.
I think he's seen enough and knows enough that he can do that.
Oh, fair enough. Okay, so then, yes.
Then they meet on the island and they swap.
Yes.
And they swap Sparrow for Turner, and so Sparrow is going to go on the Flying Dutchman, and Davy Jones is pleased as punch.
By this point, you don't give a crap who's betrayed who, for what reason, for why, for when, and how.
Fortunately, all the betrayals are now pretty much over, aren't they?
By this point, I've lost count. Seriously, it's up in the thousands. The amount of betrayals you don't see in this film are everywhere.
I mean, the cook betraying the chef, who betrayed the cabin boy.
Seriously, in this film, in total, if you read the script, there are 9,387 betrayals.
You think we're exaggerating? You'd be wrong.
We're not. We broke into Jerry Bruckheimer's office. Sorry, Jerry.
Sorry, Jerry.
We will replace the vase, I promise.
Yep, that was my fault.
There was just way too many betrayals in this film. I mean, it was ridiculous. Anyway, but then we get onto the whirlpool scene.
Yeah, Calypso causes the maelstrom.
Calypso has been having all this stuff, and it's like, Calypso will do this, and Calypso... Oh, no, we missed a bit again.
What have we missed?
Where Jack Sparrow is held captive on the Flying Dutchman.
We haven't got there.
Is that after the whirlpool scene?
That's intercutting with the whirlpool scene.
Alright, yes. Oh, fair enough. Okay, so anyway, forget I said that. Back to the whirlpool scene. Now, Calypso has been built up and built up and built up and built up and built up.
So ultimately...
And you think she's going to be like the worst thing ever to possibly happen. You have these two armadas staring each other down. You think...
Okay, and if a sea goddess goes on either one of those sides, or possibly just stays neutral, who knows what's going to happen?
Exactly.
I'll tell you what's going to happen. A sink. A whirlpool of a sink. A plug hole.
That was it. This big immortal god thing can produce one itsy bitsy whirlpool and a few clouds. I mean, I've got to say, I was a bit underwhelmed.
But then